to From Another Point of View. My name is Agnes.
And my name is Alice.
And in today's episode, we are going to talk about the language of color. We're going to talk about color therapy, color psychology, a little bit about color in fashion, what color means to us. I feel like it's such a huge subject that we've done a lot of research about. And we are dedicating more than one episode into it, which for us, that's
insane. First time ever.
First time ever, yeah. So the color is such a universal language in many ways. When you think about it, the perfect example could be whenever you travel in the world, the red light is always going to mean stop and the green one is always going to mean go. But then on the flip side, for example, the black and white are colors that for a person could be a color of mourning, and then in a different country it could mean celebration. The same with white. Some people mourn wearing white and other people mourn wearing black.
Yeah, or they get married when they're wearing white.
Or they get married in red.
Yeah.
So much of color is also, some of it is universal, but then also it really depends on the culture and the upbringing, all the religions.
And also a personal experience, I think.
Yeah, personal experience as well. So color has been really important in both of our lives. And that was part of the reason that we decided to dive a little bit deeper, learn more about it, do some research, share it with you.
Yeah.
So Alice, why was it color a topic of today's episode from your point of view?
I'm really interested in it because only recently, probably in the last couple of years, I've started going into wearing more color and just being attracted to color, because obviously we all have our favorite colors and all this, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. You're just I like purple, for example,
or not even knowing the meaning behind it, right?
Yeah,
the other thing.
Why do you like that color? And I think both of us are people who are always questioning things, and I think you are too.
Curious beings.
Yeah, and you must be too if you're on this podcast. So yeah, we just wanted to question it, look deeper into it. We read books and research, and I just feel so full of knowledge now. But yeah, I used to only wear darker colors, and I think it was because of my upbringing and the country I'm from. And to be honest, a lot of Europeans, I think, wear darker colors, especially in winter, and
we see it as very practical. I think
very practical. That. Yeah, I remember just in winter time wanting to maybe as a kid wear different colors, but my mom would be like, yeah, but that's gonna get dirty really easily, you know.
Alice, you don't want to be wearing white in the middle of winter when it's snowing and then it's slushy rain and then
yeah, it's gross. No. Exactly. And then I think that's kind of goes with you into your adult life as well until you maybe change or I don't know.
You start questioning those choices, right?
Exactly. And then I think we're going to touch on it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been venturing into color and I really love it. And I think I just love the way it makes me feel.
So you're seeing the power behind it.
For sure. And I think we all do subconsciously. But maybe we choose to ignore it. Yeah. But yeah, let me wear color. You know, let me venture into it. And also with that, I realized what colors I like wearing, which is quite interesting too. Obviously when you first start wearing colors or you're more confident about it, you might wear everything and you're oh, this color, that color is great. And then now I realized I don't really like super bright colors like pinks and fuchsia and
very powerful, overpowering almost.
Yeah, I feel it's kind of eating me alive. You bored, lovely.
We're having a special guest on today's episode. Her name is Lilith. And it's her first appearance. We hope it's not the last.
Yeah. She's just sleeping by my laptop.
Okay.
So what about you?
So for me, color, I think, has always played a huge role. I think subconsciously I was always aware that green is a color that really calmed me down. The same with blue. The red was always a very fiery color. And funnily enough, I think I started wearing more color since I've dyed my hair about 5 years ago, which I thought is actually going to work the opposite.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh my God, I'm having this very overpowering ginger hair. Maybe I have to take a step back with the colors. Then I got into this mode of wearing red a lot, which a lot of people kind of remember told me oh, you shouldn't be wearing red when you have ginger hair, or you shouldn't be wearing really strong colors. And I actually totally loved it. So I went through this phase when I was wearing very intense colors, like oranges and reds and...
I remember this phase.
Yeah.
We did a lot of photo shoots together.
Yeah, we did this photo shoot, which I think was my favorite photo shoot ever that I did with you, which was this very like monochromatic, different shades of red mixed together.
I feel like Harper's Bazaar should have called us.
Yeah, he should have. It was just a perfect example for people to see like, oh my god, you can actually mix and match those shades. And I think that's one of my favorite. We're going to talk about fashion and more in detail in a different episode, but that's one of my favorite ways to like incorporate color, when you actually mix different shades of the same color together. I think it can look like very luxurious and very just put together without
rich.
overthinking it. Very rich, yeah. And that actually is with whatever color you mix. You know, so if you have different shades of red like I did, I mean, it just looked incredible.
Yes, completely agree.
But yeah, color has always played a huge part. And I think I've mentioned to you that my family, like my mom, doesn't really wear black. She really associates black with mourning and death. And I think that's a big part of the reason subconsciously she's just not drawn to that color at all.
But it's very interesting because we come from like similar parts.
Very, yeah.
My family's like, nope, black all the way.
My family's like, no black.
But to be honest, we looked at the picture with like my grandparents and stuff. It's not like they wear black all the time.
Maybe it's something that's really stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Like what you said, I guess, you know, your mom didn't want you to wear white in the middle of winter. She's like, Alice, just don't add to my work. Like, I already have loads of washing to do.
Exactly.
Maybe it was that. I don't know. But yeah, when I think about even growing up, like, I've never really had black clothes. And my mom actually thinks, funnily enough, that black doesn't suit her. So that's the other reason why she doesn't wear it. She's just like, I look like so pale and it washes me out. And like, no, she's really drawn into like really warm colors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Well,
maybe
I think you should bring up some pictures in our next episode.
I'm really going to try like dig deep and find some really
Yeah, that would
cool
be really fun.
pictures.
Visuals.
Going down memory lane. Let us know if you want to see it.
Receipts. Okay, we want to see receipts.
We really want to dive into color therapy and then color psychology and then a little bit about fashion.
Some facts, some very interesting facts. And
Yes.
Just so I think, just so you better understand also like how to use color in your everyday life, because it can be so helpful. So maybe let's talk first about color therapy.
Color therapy is known as chromotherapy. It uses light and a color to treat mental and physical conditions. And we trace it back to Egyptian times, we trace it back to India and Ayurveda, we trace it back to Chinese medicine. It goes back centuries. And Egyptians, for example, used to use like a sun-filled rooms for people to feel a little bit better when they were going through certain things. So the yellow and the orange had such a huge effect.
And also they used color like colored cloths over like parts of your body if you had some diseases. For example, they thought red would help blood because red, you know, blood is red.
Yeah.
In a similar manner,
Yeah.
you know, different diseases that maybe like they had association with a specific color, and they believed that would help like ease the pain or just like help disease.
So fascinating.
Yeah, and like we had this knowledge and now we're just kind of like gone.
I think people were so much more in tune with their bodies in like ancient traditions. And then sort of Western medicine came and just totally wiped that out. I think all of those like ancient wisdoms are having the renaissance and having the comeback. I think we're realizing that Western medicine, yes, they can treat your broken leg, but then when it comes to conditions like anxiety, depression, there are so many different avenues that you can take. And yeah, color therapy is definitely one of them.
I'm just curious now, thinking outside the box a little bit, like who gets interested in alternative medicine, color therapy, meditation, all of that. I feel like it's people who go through like something quite difficult in their timelines, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think it's also maybe from my personal perspective, like getting to the point where Western medicine has almost like given you everything that it has to offer, and it hasn't helped. And then you start sort of researching and looking into things that, even if they're not proven, even if there is not loads of studies behind it, you kind of...
You're like, hey, let's try it out.
Let's try it. Like, if all of the Western medicine knowledge hasn't helped, maybe this will. And you also get to the point when you, I guess, start, at least from my perspective again, I started listening to my intuition a little bit more. So when you do, you get sort of pings and you get driven towards things that I think your body knows best. So the more you listen to it, it's going to take you in the right direction. And sometimes those directions might not be a Western medicine approach. And it could be something like color therapy.
True.
You know, so just exploring and being curious, you know, so not putting yourself in a box. It's like, oh, this is the pill I have to take. And if it doesn't work, if it works, amazing. If it doesn't, then maybe start looking for other options.
100%. Because, you know, we've got the research. Yeah. It was working.
Yeah, it was working centuries ago. But now there is a time that there is a research being done and people are looking into it a little bit more sort of on a deeper level, trying to really understand. Because I think we live in a society where we have to really understand everything. Yeah. We have to have science behind it to prove it. Like.
Yeah. Well, but if you think from Middle Ages, that's how, like, that's the world we've been living in, and like conditioning more and more each time.
Yeah, we're definitely conditioned to have proof for everything, and if something can't be proven, then it isn't true.
Yeah.
Question that.
Listen to yourself.
Listen to yourself.
Because actually, modern physics has established that every color has a certain frequency, wavelength, and energy associated with it. So there is actually studies that has kind of proven that color is, you know, can be used as therapy.
When you think about either color energy, you can think of people's auras as well, and the frequencies that we have, which I think extend a certain, I don't know what's the research, but your aura extends however many meters. So I think it's like 30 centimeters actually, but I'm gonna check that. So it extends, and that's the vibration as well.
So ours are touching.
Ours are touching. Yeah. And when you have a hug with someone, like I was reading this the other day, when you have a hug with someone, you actually exchange the auras that you have. I was reading this study what animals' auras do to you and how they calm you down, and I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's very
and it's something that, you know, there probably isn't tons of studies done, but you can feel it yourself. I'm sure that everyone was in a situation where they're like, oh my god, this person gave me a hug and I really felt heavy, or this person gave me a hug and I really felt light, or I'm around a person that I just want to be around all the time because they have such a good energy. Like 100%. It happens all the time. So I find that fascinating, and that's also related to like what we say, auras and colors and the frequencies that they have, which is really, really interesting.
To me, it's crazy that people don't believe it sometimes. Like, I have a few friends who are just completely, like, don't want to talk about it. Yeah, and I'm like, how can you not believe it? I don't know. It's really crazy to me because I really, like, feel it. Maybe I let myself feel it. Like, I notice it, like, consciously. You
get more in tune with your body, and maybe that's part of the reason why you just, like, this is real for me, because like my body feels a certain way, so I can't explain it, like but I can definitely feel it, and that's important.
So just how color therapy is used, I've written down, like currently in today's. So it's breathing exercises while looking at a specific color. That's one way. Crystals and like in various colors as well. Obviously colored garments and fashion, which we're going to touch on another time. Colored water, which is called solarized water.
Solarized water, that's so interesting.
Colored light therapy and monochromatic light therapy, which combines acupuncture.
So interesting. Yeah. That's like, I guess, from Chinese medicine, right?
Yeah.
Because they believe that there are certain emotions that are stuck in certain parts of your body. And trying to move that, and that's also related to meridians, which could be stuck, so... It's just so much.
There's so
much wisdom that those people gave us. Yeah, we didn't listen.
Yep.
So let's talk about a few colors and the meaning behind them in color therapy. Yep. So we have red, which is very energizing. Yeah. When you think about red, I think about like fire. So loads of energy.
What's my association with red?
Yeah, what's your association with red?
Love.
I think about... Ooh. Yeah. Alice's is hard.
No, hold on. Hold on, like this. This is the new heart.
I can't do it. I can't. Like, I've tried. Oh, no! No, wait.
Like this.
Like, hold on. I can't do it.
So it's like this.
Well, mine is cute that way. Which one do you prefer? Please comment.
I thought you said please call us.
No. No, not yet.
Not yet.
Just comment in the section like below the video.
No landlines.
No. Landline. I don't even have a landline, do you? Going back to the types of color in color therapy. So we have red, which is very energizing. So when you feel a little bit tired, a little bit down, it can really pick you up. But it can also trigger people. So I've read this research where when you look at color red, it's I think the only color that enlarges the vessels in your
Veins in your eyes.
In your eyes, yes. So the red could be quite like aggravating, like quite intense. And then we have blue. Blue could be quite sedative, quite calming. Like when you think about the ocean and the blue sky, like we have very kind of like nice associations with that.
Yes.
What kind of feeling does blue give you?
Blue, calming. Yeah. Because I automatically think of the sea or like like I've grown up by the beach and it's just like such a soothing. And then I read some research as well that blue has been used in children's hospitals a lot as well to
like calm them.
Yeah.
They can also help with insomnia. And then green, obviously, is a color of nature. For me, it's extremely calming because it makes me think of like nature and trees, and that's my happy place. Yes. It can help relieve stress and it can really relax you. And then we have yellow, which can improve your mood and it can make you feel a little bit more happy, a little bit more optimistic. Think about sunshine.
Yeah.
Then we have orange, which is much more like yellow, can be used to elicit happy emotions in people. It's warm. It can stimulate appetite.
Oh, that's why I'm hungry all the time around you.
Yeah. You're not the only one. Oh my God, I never thought about it like that. But it can also help mental activity. And when we think about all of those colors, like all of those are in nature and they make you feel the certain way. It's almost like nature gave you sky to be like, okay, it's calming, and the sea, and then they give you green. It gives you green. So it's like, oh my God, I feel alive. It's alive. And then they gave you like fire, the red, and
I feel like
yellow with the sky, with the sun. I mean, like
just imagine going on a holiday. I feel like when you associate grey, London, everything is kind of grey, black.
Such a huge impact, right?
Yeah, you feel so dull. And then when you think of like going to Sicily, for example, yellow lemons and like green and blue sky, like you're just like start smiling. I feel like
that plays a huge role. Here we go. It's just like it just makes you realize how much meaning it is behind color and how it's such a huge and powerful language.
100%.
And when we understand it, we can just use it into our advantage, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we have a few tips on how to get started with just implementing little things in regards to color therapy. You don't necessarily have to go and see someone.
It's more like the things that you can also do within your home, within your wardrobe, just things that you can implement a little bit. And that's why knowledge is key. Like if you know.
For me personally, there were a few things that made a huge difference. When I feel down or like not very happy or just going through things, for me, going into nature and just being surrounded by green, which really, if you think about it, doesn't cost much. We have parks everywhere. It costs you your time, but you know,
especially on sunny days, I feel like free up like an hour just to go.
Like even the hour makes a huge difference for me personally. But the other one that for me was huge, for the past few years I've been really aware of the blue light from light bulbs as well as computers, a TV screen and my phone. So for me the blue light blocking glasses are a must. And the second thing is, after the sun goes down, like I don't really have lights in my house. I have a lot of candles. And I used to suffer from insomnia for a year, a few years ago. And after implementing all of that, like being really aware about the blue light, that has helped tremendously. And also it really affects your circadian rhythm when you just expose yourself to blue light all the time, especially when you live in a city, like you're surrounded by like street lights, this, you know, computers everywhere and TVs, and you know, we're on our phone till late, and that really affects that. So.
I think anyone who's struggling with sleep, I think just do a week of winding down kind of rhythm in the evening. And just put away all your devices. Don't watch no TV. Put like dim light if you don't have candles.
Yeah, there is like, I have some light bulbs that have very like warm yellow light.
Yes.
Those are quite helpful. Or you can even buy, there's a lot of companies now that sell like red tinted lights. And that really, really helps your eyes.
Or like you could get like a sunset light.
Yes, the perfect example. That's what I have in the evening on.
Or I also
with
had
the
a
candles.
salt lamp as well.
Salt
which
lamps
is
are
orange.
very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that orangey light is really going to help you. But it's also so warm and like very nourishing.
And cozy.
You think about like sunsets when you think about
Yeah.
orange light. So
And then do that for a week and like you will notice 100%.
yeah, huge,
you will
huge
sleep
difference.
better.
Let's get personal in this part of the episode.
Yeah.
Because you're going to dive a little bit deeper into your experience with what color really means to you.
That I think this is why I really wanted to talk about this subject because of the way color has really like helped me in my journey with anxiety and panic attacks.
Yeah.
So last year I had panic attacks which developed into agoraphobia, which means I couldn't really leave the house. And it was like, I'm still going through the experience. Like, it's not just like, I'm done, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's a process, isn't it?
Yeah, but color has played a massive role as well. Just very subconsciously, I gravitated towards joyful colors. And now when I was researching more about it, I was like, wow.
This makes so much sense.
So much sense. And honestly, like, if I didn't believe it before, which, you know, I kind of knew about like color affecting your mood, but I didn't really go in depth about it or like didn't research it enough.
Yeah.
Whereas now I was like, okay. So I was like, I was gravitating towards yellow, orange, green. Like those were the colors that I really, really loved. Even like walking on the road, seeing a car that was orange, I was like, wow, I love that. Bought orange trousers last year, blazer, like there's so many like things. Even today I was like going through my wardrobe, tidying up, and I was like, I have so many colors, like green, like the colors that I mentioned.
Yeah.
And then I just looked into color therapy when it comes to yellow, for example. Yellow deals with depression, mental issues, sadness, also headaches. I'm like, tick, tick, tick. Had all of those for like a whole year very badly. It strengthens the nervous system. It makes one more clear-headed. It's happy, uplifting, like everything that you really need when you're going to
when
like
you're feeling a bit down.
Yeah, when you have depression even. And yellow helps by changing one's attitude into an optimistic one.
And you think about the sun, like people look at the sun like, oh my god, I'm so happy, it's a beautiful day. Like even in London, I feel like when the sun is out, people are so much nicer.
Yeah, so polite.
People smile and they're like, oh my gosh.
Exactly. But to put two and two together,
it
just makes so much sense.
Of course it does.
And then orange is used to treat mental exhaustion, also mental disorders of several types. Wow. Again, feeds into the whole like depression and anxiety that it can really help.
There's so much warmth in both of them, right?
Yeah. And what's interesting is also that orange helps heal both physical and mental, just because it's in the middle of red and yellow. So it's kind of like mixed together with those colors that are associated with more mental and more physical things. We're drawn to color green when we're under emotional stress. Again, that was me. Promotes relaxation, calmness, and it soothes emotion. Like we spoke about green and nature.
The nature.
Yeah. And, you know, it's probably different shades of green, but I was very attracted to like bright, like salad green, like almost like going to yellow.
You know what it makes me think of? When you're attracted to like very bright green, like it makes me think of spring and like the new shoots and like the life started to emerge.
True.
And, like this awakening of something. And
That's true. And I feel like it's so fascinating. Like this, I almost had like a little bit of goosebumps thinking that I already had all of that knowledge that I've just read somewhere stored in my like ancient brain.
Yeah.
And we all have that, but we're just not using it.
Yeah, I feel like we're very disconnected, and that's what it really comes down to. Like we're very disconnected from our bodies, from our minds, we're just very overloaded with the information, and we just don't listen to ourselves. We listen to everyone else around us, but not ourselves.
Yeah.
There is a special guest that Alice did an interview with, lovely Annabelle, who's psychokinesiologist. Some of you that might not know what psychokinesiology is, because we didn't know. It's a holistic therapy that combines kinesiology, psychology, and energy healing principles to address physical, emotional, and mental imbalances. Practitioners use the muscle testing, emotional release techniques, and other methods to identify and treat the root cause of various health concerns. So it's very fascinating. Annabelle, like I've seen her work on social media, and just super fascinating human being. So.
Yeah, she uses color therapy as well, and you should definitely check her out.
We're going to link all of her socials
yes.
down below. Tell us a bit more about this interview.
First of all, we wanted to include it into this episode, but the conversation was so good that we're actually going to dedicate a whole short and sweet episode for it. The chat was super lovely. I, again, found out so many new things, and I'm not going to reveal too much because I want you to really watch it. But one of the things that I really took away from it is that, like, let's say you don't have confidence to wear bright colors, like we've been talking about, you know, wearing orange trousers on the street and this and that. But what she also suggested is just wearing colorful things at home when, you know, no one can really see you but yourself.
Yeah.
So whether you have like bright pajamas, for example, or you switch like, you know, your tracksuit from grey to a colour that you're really attracted to during that time, that can be really, really healing to you. And it takes away from all of that worry of going outside.
Being uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I could go on, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to. You have to stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely check
up.
It out, because it was such an interesting conversation, and
you're going to learn loads.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about color therapy, and now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into color psychology.
Color psychology, what does it mean?
Okay, let's talk about color psychology. So color psychology is a study. Okay, let me try that again. So color psychology is a study that shows us how different colors can influence our perception and our behavior and make us sort of want or not want certain things. It's really fascinating.
I guess the easiest way to think about it is like when you go into a store.
Yeah. Like certain things that influence you, for example, like when there's a sale and you have a huge red signs, or color psychology is used a lot in like marketing. Based on sort of meanings like universal. There are certain colors that colors have universal meaning. There are certain things that sort of all of us understand, and that is used in marketing and also is used in fashion as well.
It's a strong communication tool, basically.
Very strong communication tool, and it's a very powerful force in our lives, and I feel like a lot of us are just not aware of it. Of those like subliminal messages that you just mentioned.
But we are here to teach you, so you know.
So we just mentioned that the warm colors can evoke certain emotions.
Yeah.
There's studies done that the combination of yellow and orange can make you hungry. And if you think about the colors of McDonald's, which is yellow and orange.
So very suspicious.
They've used color psychology since they've opened for that, which is really fascinating.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of brands, if you start like really looking into it. I remember at university or college when I was studying art, like one of the things was to look at those things as well from like graphic design kind of point of view.
Yeah, because when you think about color wheel, which was invented in 1666 by Isaac Newton.
Such a long time ago.
Color wheel has been used in obviously color psychology and in like marketing and fashion and design, and that has sort of created a base for color psychology and what colors combined together, what colors don't go together. Like if you look at the color wheel, that's a whole other story, and I think it might be interesting to talk a little bit more about it in like a fashion episode. So we have the warm color spectrum and the cool color spectrum. On the warm color spectrum, we have the yellow and the orange and the reds, which can evoke the emotions of warmth and comfort. But also when you think of red, it can evoke hostility and anger. You never see brands using too much red. It's only when they're trying to really attract your attention, and that's what we mentioned, like the sale signs.
Yes.
They want you like to go there and shop.
And because that's definitely the first thing you would notice.
That's
just
the
like
first you would notice,
yeah.
But then on the flip side, you never see like brand design signs or logos that are totally red. Like you never see that, right? It's almost like
it's too aggressive.
It could be perceived as too aggressive. And on the cool sort of spectrum, there will be like blues, purples and greens, which can be described as sort of very calm colors. And I've read this study that most of the insurance companies, and I think health sector, they all use blue. And blue is actually, they did this study all around the world in different cultures and different regions and different parts of the world, and blue came out like as people's favorite color.
Oh wow,
which is so interesting, right?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, I think it would have to be purple.
Purple, is there like a meaning behind it, do you think?
When I think of purple, and we've done some research that goes into sort of the history of colors, and we were talking about purple but like where this purple hue came from, and I've read some like crazy historical facts. The color purple was color of royalty. It was color of like very high clerks in like priests and the Pope.
They were reserved.
They were reserved for like very upper class. And it's only like, I think in the late 1800s that it became a color that more people could use. But I never knew sort of what was the reason behind it. Like, why was it only used by those people? And then I found out that the color dye to make a color purple, to produce 1 gram of purple, it was called Tyrian purple, it was necessary to process 12,000 sea snails. And then the process was, the sea snails were crushed to expose the gland that produced the precious fluid that was purplish, which was then extracted and then mixed with the wood ash and the urine. And then all of that was fermented for 10 days. And the dye was colorless, like it didn't have any color, and in its natural state, but it turned purple when it was exposed to the air. However, it faded really quickly. So they had to like keep processing and doing this over and over and over again, which meant the clothes that were purple actually stank of urine and just sea snails. So it wasn't very pleasant. But it was like such a sought after color. So I found that extremely fascinating. And then
very, very fascinating, but also very gross. Also, I can't imagine 1,200 snails.
How much is
that? I just can't even like imagine.
It was a lot of snails. And actually, when they were making the fabrics, when they were dyeing the fabrics had to be dyed like outside of the city walls, like quite far, because the smell was so intense. And it was only in 1856, a chemist, he was a student of the Royal College of Chemistry, by mistake, he developed a purple dye. And then that Victorian era became like everyone loved purple and everyone could wear it, because obviously it wasn't so difficult to make it and so time and labor consuming. If you think about the colors and the history that every single one of them has, I mean, I find that very fascinating.
Yeah, because it all comes from somewhere. It's just, for us.
But people like used it in a certain way. Like when you think of like, when I think of orange, I think of like Buddhist monks. Yeah. And like this very intense orange.
Yeah, true.
When we think of black, I think of like judges, and I think of like very serious figures in our society that were black. I mean, you were black to the office. Like it's all kind of like very serious and put together and like very powerful. And you think of like a little black dress, which we want to touch on probably on a fashion episode and dive a little bit more deeper about it. But there is so much meaning into every color, and that meaning has sort of like layers over centuries. I think that's really important to know. But I don't know, randomly that's my favorite color. I don't wear it super often. I have this incredible purple dress that I love.
Yeah, but having a favorite color, I guess, doesn't mean that you have to wear it. That is true.
Yeah, but I don't know, like when it comes to crystals, like I love amethyst, which is purple. And purple is the color of your crown chakra. So there is loads of kind of, I don't know. And
also our favorite colors must like change as well.
I don't know, like my purple is purple for as many years as I am on this planet. Yeah, I always loved purple. It's weird.
I used to love red. Red everything. Red was my favorite.
No way. When did that change? Like, is it
probably like, I don't know, like a few years ago, and then I liked blue, like certain shades of blue. And then most recently I like orange and yellow. And interestingly enough, I used to hate orange and yellow. Like if me, 15-year-old me, was sitting here and would be like, I hate yellow, I hate this color.
Wow.
Especially wearing
How can
it.
you hate sunsets?
No, but it's more like about wearing and
Like on you rather than like looking at it.
Yeah.
I see, okay.
And I always associated more my favorite color is the things that I want to be wearing. Like that's how I see it more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's interesting concept that your favorite color doesn't necessarily mean what you're wearing.
No, not necessarily. Because I get really drawn into... I love color. The colors I never really liked are like super like neon colors.
No, your favorite.
Not my favorite. I can't even, like, no, absolutely not. I love very earthy tones. Like I live in earthy tones.
Yeah.
But I also love red. Like, oh my god, red for me is just like
beautiful.
I think for a lot of people, like powerful color is black. For me, it's red.
Actually, interestingly enough, you're going into association. So there's a study in 2020 that was done with 4,598 people around 30 countries.
Yeah.
And associations with different colors. So, for example, black, 51% of respondents associated black with sadness.
Like mourning and things.
Yeah, but when you think about, you know, the color black, we wear a lot of black, like especially in corporate world.
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes me think, like, subconsciously, how does that make you feel? Like a lot of people are quite unhappy with those kind of jobs. Could the color that's surrounding them every single day be a little bit a part of it?
I mean, if you think like everything has energy, color has energy and frequency. So if you wear black every single day, I don't know how that wouldn't affect you. Like it's just, it's interesting.
White, 43% relief, and also blue, 35% is relief. So I guess it's like that soothing
very
effect.
Calming.
Then red, 68% said love. And pink as well. Pink.
You're thinking about like Valentine's Day, and people are just like red roses and red hearts and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm like thinking, for me as well, it associates with love or blood. Like it's very like drastic, like two sides.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Orange, 44% said joy, and also yellow, 52% said joy. Brown, 36% said disgust.
It's really interesting because I read the study when they asked participants what their least favorite color is, and this was worldwide. And actually, weirdly enough, it was brown and orange.
Because I guess it's similar, a little bit similar.
No, it's not.
Well, it depends what kind of shade of orange.
Yeah, obviously. But I don't know. I love brown, actually.
Yeah,
I love
me too.
wearing brown and I love seeing brown. When I think about brown, I think about like earth and soil and like, I love brown.
And then, do you want to know what people said purple meant?
Tell me.
25% said pleasure.
Ooh.
And I don't know why.
Maybe subconsciously, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, but like why? Is it like the emoji?
I mean,
the aubergine emoji.
That could be. I mean, maybe. But purple is also, for centuries, been related to spirituality.
Okay.
Because it's your crown chakra color, and so it was always like a very spiritual color for a lot of people. And I guess that's part of the reason why the church has worn so much purple. Yeah,
and one thing I think we didn't mention is it's not just the colors that we see, but also colors have vibrations. So if you place it on your body, they still have an effect. So wearing colors is powerful, and also like seeing colors around you is powerful. So like you said, like colors can be everywhere around us,
and they are everywhere around us. I think this is the other thing. It doesn't have to be just your clothes. Like even in your house, like I have a lot of plants because I love green, and green for me is so calming, it's so soothing, and I live in the middle of the city. So for me, that's such a necessity, even though I have white walls. So I've realized that I actually have been very careful about what kind of colors I have in my house, because I know that they implement certain emotions and certain feelings within myself. And you can do the same, and you don't have to change your whole house and paint your walls, yellow. But just like little touches and little things, like changing your light bulbs into the warmer tones, that can help tremendously to make you feel a certain way.
Yeah, and just do a little bit of research. So like, let's say you have, difficulties with appetite, you can, incorporate a little bit more orange into
just
like
get a
dining.
yellow plate.
Yeah. Or like if you have insomnia, just, be careful of blue light. And like all of those things you can really use for your advantage, but at the same time, listening to yourself and what your
body needs and your mind.
Yeah, and like really intuitively just go with it and don't question it too much. I think that's really helped in my journey. Just doing what I really want in that moment when it comes to color.
Maybe just like go ahead, just pick. For example, if you get really getting drawn into a certain color, just pick, even like you're picking a lipstick or like a little scarf or whatever. And then later on, and we live in a world when you can do your research, like Google. You can Google anything, and I bet you that you'll find the reasons that you already knew that are there, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Like, just like an explanation from Uncle Google on
the
internet. But innately, like you knew why you're picking the certain color. Anything else?
I hope that's been really helpful, because it was for me researching and doing things. So
this episode could have been like literally 3 hours long.
Yes.
If you wanted to really dive deep and really talk about everything that we have read and researched and loved, like it would have been a 3-hour episode minimum. So we really tried to like condense this information into things that are hopefully very useful.
And then you can research a little bit more.
We're definitely going to link all the things that we've sort of used for our research, like the books and things that we've read. And I'm hoping that's going to be interesting. And you can delve a little bit deeper yourself if you wanted to.
I'm sure if you're here, you're a bit of a geek like we are. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. See you soon.